Hello, YouTube and X. It's your main man, BTM, here on this Monday, starting the week off again. So, we're bringing it back for XRP. So, thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and super chat. So, XRP might be acting tired, but I'm not fully convinced this story is over. Because while the charts have been moving like it pays rent late, the infrastructure around the XRP is not slowing down. And that's the weird part. You got people looking at XRP like, bro, this coin is finished. Meanwhile, Ripple is out here collecting licensing, pushing stablecoin rails, expanding in Brazil, Australia, building custody, talking tokenization, and Wall Street style access keeps getting more real. So today we're asking a simple question. Is XRP already done, or is the market just not paying attention yet? Because sometimes in crypto, the loudest thing is the price, and sometimes the most important thing is what's being built, why people are distracted. And yeah, people get crazy about the price, right? Everything's about um what's the price, when's it going up, how high is it going to go? And the thing people got to be more concerned about is what the actual project does, right? People are like the price, the price, the price, the price. And it's always not about the price. It's a lot of times about what the project actually does, right? Is it a long term project? Is it a meme coin? Does it have utility? Is it just flash? Or is there a real substance to what the project is doing? And especially for long term, right? You got to pay attention to what's going on long term, right? Will the project be around in a year or two? Because I've been telling you guys just out of research, right? When this clarity gets approved, a lot of things are going to disappear, right? A lot of stuff is not going to be compliant. There's a lot of projects that aren't really doing anything, right? A lot of things that don't have any real use case or any real access or actually any real projects behind. And that's going to start coming out quick, right? There's a lot of stuff that's going to come out, especially as they make it tighter with regulation, right? That's what the whole clarity is doing. It's going to make it tighter on regulation for a lot of these cryptos, right? It's going to make where a lot of this stuff isn't just there or here for, I guess, to be seen or to be there, right? It's got to actually do something. It's got to be worth something, and it's got to be able to hold a value. And a lot of this stuff is just here, right? Don't have no value, don't do anything, uh, doesn't have any backing, and a lot of those things are going to disappear. They're going to disappear this year, or whenever the whenever the Clarity Act gets passed. But I told you guys, it's probably going to be late summer or maybe um, right before or during midterms. I know these guys keep hyping us up, right? They keep, oh yeah, it's coming, it's gonna happen in a month, it's gonna happen next week, it's gonna happen tomorrow. But they're talking, man. They're always talking. That's just hype, right? They're gonna hype us up. Oh yeah, we're working on it. It's gonna be done. It's almost done. We hit a roadblock. We're still working on it, and that's kind of how it's gonna go for a while, right? It's gonna disappear and then all of a sudden it's going to pop back up and something else is going to happen. It's going to disappear again, right? It's going to pop up, it's going to disappear. But let me show you a couple of shorts real quick. And then we'll get into the bubbles. I guess we'll start with Jake, see what Jake has to say.
Into 2026 where you're able, in your opinion, what is the most lucrative way to get value from your XRP without selling it? Borrowing against it, or I think that we'll have a bunch of products by the end of 2026 where you're able to generate somewhere between 6 and 10%, fairly low risk, almost no risk on your XRP. So depending on how much you have and how high the price goes, that could be very lucrative. But borrowing against it, you're going to be able to draw down huge sums of liquidity tax free. There is an interest rate obviously associated with it, but then you can take out a life insurance policy with a small portion of that to be able to offset the difference so that, if you were to pass away, it pays off the debt and then the assets flow to your descendants. In your opinion, what is the most lucrative way to get value from your XRP without selling it? Borrowing against it, or I think.
So shout out to Jake for that. This is another quick. I want to do this one last because it's kind of longer. I'm trying to get through these real quick ones first, and then we'll push to the longer ones. This is the Outback Recycler. I'm not even sure who this is.
They're going to be worth $2,000 per each. I'm promising these guys when my crypto goes up, I'll buy this yard and I'll get it all concreted. Because I only rent and I rent next door.
Yep.
But the bloke next door got me on the XRP. Yeah. Because he said, I've worked it out, my brother's a computer expert. They're talking 10 years ago. They're looking at the World Bank, set up for the World Bank. So it's going to happen.
You reckon buy some XRP?
XRP, they're only $2 Australian at the moment, or $2.05.
Shout out to the Australian XRP guy. This is another quick one, and the last two are kind of longer. So let's see. Yeah, move this guy here. Actually, put this one here. Where I saw this one. Play this real quick.
They're holding. And I don't mean that they don't know the basics. I mean, they don't understand why it exists. But if you ask what problem XRP was actually built to solve, you'll get 10 different answers, and most of them miss the point. And that's huge, because when you don't understand the purpose of something, you end up judging it by rules it was never meant to follow. That's why people get frustrated with the price. That's why debates go in circles. And that's why explanations sound logical, but never feel complete. If you're serious about building wealth in this shift, make sure you're subscribed. Most people who own XRP don't.
So let's see what Steph, I guess it's Steph has to say real quick. And good morning, Cooley. Yeah, you're right. It is super risky to borrow, but if your XRP goes up in value, you will be able to borrow against it and still make a profit on your loan against your crypto. But yeah, you're right. If you lose or don't pay your crypto, if you don't pay the loan back, they're going to take your crypto. But that's part of the game anyway, bro. They're going to take. It's like you buy a house and you don't keep up your payments. They try to take your house. So it's risky, but I'd say it's better than selling, right? Because you'll still have access to it. But we'll keep it moving. Thanks for that update. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm looking for, where is it? Is this it? That's not it. I thought I had one for XRP, which is weird. I guess can we copy this? But yeah, let me kick to this video.
Something happening right now for XRP that everyone is missing out on, myself included almost. But I literally just came across this, guys. XRP is doing the exact same thing as what oil did right before it took off, literally in a few weeks to $120. So I want to talk about this. I want to give you the targets that I expect, and I also, more importantly, want to give you a time frame. I want to show you how long it's possibly going to take for XRP to reach those targets. So this is an important video, guys. If you like this new format, hit like, of course. I appreciate all of you watching. Let's get into it. So guys, what you can see right here is the oil price action, and yes, you can see that oil has been trading in this tight range, you can say a falling wedge for a very long time, downward resistance, downward support, and all of a sudden there wasn't much space left and price, yeah, took off into space literally in a few weeks. Now, focus on XRP. XRP is doing the same thing. This is XRP on the weekly. You can see this downward resistance, downward support. There is barely any space left in the pattern, so price is most likely going to choose a direction. Now, here's the key thing to understand. Since this is all happening on high time frames, I mean, yesterday I showed you this chart. This is XRP on the monthly. This candle is literally going to close within, what is it, 48 hours or so. So we will see a direction, but do understand that since this is the monthly time frame, even if we see a breakout, so if we break $1.38 approximately for XRP, even if we see that, don't expect an immediate spike up to, I don't know, $3, $4, $5. No, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a couple of weeks because this is a high time frame. Just see it as a confirmation signal. If XRP breaks above $1.38, that could be our first confirmation that the trend is shifting, that XRP is breaking outside of this falling wedge. And in the next couple of weeks, yes, we could reach $3. We could reach maybe as high as $4. Who knows, guys? But that is the important thing to look at. But yeah, if you focus on oil, then you can see that it literally just took less than a month or so for oil to reach $120. So can that also happen for XRP? If you look at the low amount of retail interest currently in the market, if you look at, I mean, we just hit a yearly low, guys. If you look at extreme fear, month after month, extreme fear, if you just look at the comments of every YouTube video, even my last video, everyone expects lower prices. Everyone say, we have to go to 50 cents. There is war. Yes, there are bad things happening in the world, but price doesn't really care, guys. Price just compresses until there isn't any space left, and then all of a sudden it just breaks out. So if you're here on the sidelines, or if you're waiting for a catalyst, if you're waiting for the Clarity Act, then I don't think that that is a profitable strategy right now. I think if you just go with the probabilities, this is the moment, in my personal opinion, to position. We have seen a sharp decline since June 2025, I think minus 70% or so for XRP alone. So yeah, this is the moment of opportunity. It never feels like opportunity. If you're waiting for confirmation when everything is looking good, then you're most likely already way too late. So guys, if you want to buy or trade this move, if you want to buy altcoins, check out Ubit. Ubit is a partner of the channel, and they're currently offering big sign-up bonuses, which are very easy to claim. Just follow the deposit requirements on the website. Easy to claim, guys. Link down below. Also follow me over in my free Telegram if you want to stay up to date with.
So shout out to Stefan, and this is the last one, which is markets just broke. Is XRP next? So I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about, but let me make some notes on these guys real quick. I mean, copy the links so I can put it on the video. I don't always do that, but I'd like to have them so when I do get a chance to go back and copy them, I'll have the information. In case you guys want to review it or something. And plus I'm closing them out anyway, so might as well get the link before I close it out. So keeping it moving, let's play this guy.
Checking in right here. Hey, I had to stop, man. I'm up here at Heavenly, but I have got to share something today when I'm looking at the charts. Something important happened. Okay, basically, here's what happened. The S&P, the NASDAQ, the larger money markets rolled over and broke support. Okay, big red candle going down. Guess what happens? Crypto usually follows when the broader market in finance makes this kind of a move. Now, XRP, this is serious stuff, people. Listen to what I'm saying. The XRP chart, these are my words. I was speaking to my bot, my agent, when I was looking at charts today. Red candle yesterday, but there's a green candle today that kind of bounced off the 132, which is deceiving. Okay, we got to zoom out. They're inside of the compression zone. There is a downward trend. Okay, it is hitting off the top of the downward trend line. It seems like it's going to bounce below. Once it breaks out 132, we're going lower. Okay, that's basically what's going on. It's sitting about 134 this morning. It's a short squeeze, people. It's compressing in the zone on the flag pattern. It has to make a decision soon. It's getting more compressed and compressed as we speak. So, wanted to share that. Let me show you real quick, page 2. I got another. I always try to bring notes out here. So, my microphone died, man. The battery was dead. It was messed up because I had juice when I came up, but it takes it out. So, we're at a decision point. Most people miss this. Okay, this is what I was talking about. What I just said, but I'm going to say it more eloquently. When stocks lose structure first, crypto usually reacts after. Okay, that's what I am seeing right now. It's a potential domino effect coming up. Just be aware. Okay, I'm watching all these levels. It was, and so I'll put the link in here so you can see the video. When I'm looking at the chart, you can see the exact numbers. But I know XRP is 132 to 150 with a downward trend, so it's bouncing off a lower point than 150 as we speak. Thanks for checking in, people. Appreciate your time. Hops off, Johnny. I'll let you know if I see any other movement or break in this technical analysis. I'll put the trading link below. All right, peace out.
So shout out to Hop Sauce. Interesting. Close this out and back over to the bubbles. And because sometimes in crypto, the louder the price, the loudest thing is the price, and sometimes the most important thing is what's being built while people are distracted. So smash the like button, subscribe if you rock with the channel. Drop in the chat now. Is XRP sleeping or loading? And no, this is not financial advice. This is grown folks internet. Just click buy. That's on you. I'm here to break down, laugh a little bit, and tell the truth. So here's the main idea today. XRP may not be done yet because of adoption, access, and institutional infrastructure keeps moving forward, even while the price looks weak. So that is the whole debate. On one side, the bears say XRP was really that important. Why isn't the price exploding? And that's fair. But on the other side, the bulls, which would be us, me, you, and the BTM mob, big money doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives with filings, license, custodies, futures, treasury rails, tokenomics, and boring corporate announcement nobody reads. And let's be honest, crypto people hate boring. If it's not a candle going vertical or a rumor from a guy named Crypto Sniper 220 or 420 or 220, who cares? Half of the internet ignores it. But boring is often where the real money builds. Like Bitcoin, nobody's really talking about Bitcoin. There's not a lot of flash about Bitcoin. There's not a lot of up and down, right? People just keep buying it and it keeps going up, right? Nobody's giving Bitcoin commercials. Nobody's talking about Bitcoin in the background. Nobody's talking about Bitcoin approvals and updates, right? Bitcoin just keeps doing what Bitcoin does, right? So just like Bitcoin, XRP is doing the same thing, but you gotta be patient, right? A lot of people wig out and drop out and stop using your research and then drop the coin for no reason. That's not fake. It's for content. XRP has been under pressure around March 30th, which is today. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Major crypto price trackers had XRP around $1.33 to $1.35, and recent markets report shows weak momentum and breakdowns under nearby support areas. So the chart people are not crazy. Prices absolutely cooled off. So if someone's in the chat says, "Bro, the price is not giving the beast mode right now," they're telling the truth. But here's what makes this interesting: price weakness and ecosystem weakness are not the same thing. Sometimes price is weak because the hype is gone. Sometimes price is weak because the leverage is flushed. And sometimes price is weak because the market is bored. And sometimes the asset is still quietly getting more embedded into real infrastructure. That's why this conversation matters. Because if nothing was happening fundamentally, I tell you, I'm not here to babysit bags, but that's not what the current setup looks like. Again, type of one if you care about the price, type of two if you care about the long term adoption. Before we get into the adoption, let's look at the bubbles. You can see here on the bubbles, it appears the market's doing pretty well today, right? I think Friday we were up. I think some of last week we were down, but it looks like I'm not sure what's going on geopolitically today, but it looks like the interest is coming back into the market. Ano's up 2.9, Hasfell's up 3.7, Quant's up 1.4, Algorand's up 2.9, XNO's up 1.5, Near's up 1.2, Satoshi's is up 3.9, Cosmos is up 2.3. CVX is up 7.9. CVX has been kind of doing a little something lately. I might need to look into that. Where's my notebook? Get my trusty notebook. Bap, bap, bap. Let me see if I can. Dang it. It's been a lot. Dang it. I'm actually getting behind here on the trusty notebook. So what is this? Check out CVX. And is there any other cryptos you guys are watching that we need to keep an eye on? If so, let me know in the comments. So keeping it moving. Um, Osmosis is up 3.4. Zcash, people's hating on, is back up 4%. Ethereum Classic is up 2.9. World Liberty Financial is up 1.4. ZBCN is up 1.4 on the day, zero point 0.5 on the hour, down 2.4 on the week, up 15.4 on the month, and up 135 on the week. Swarms is up 2.8. Safe's up 2.9. XCN is up 0.4. Binance 0.9. XDC. A lot of people were talking about XDC, but it went kind of quiet there for a minute. I'm not sure what they're working on, but I'm definitely going to check back with those guys. Radium's up 1.6. Jasmine is up 1.6. Nero's down 4.3. Jupiter's up 6.8. Bitcoin Cash is up 2.5. Injective is up 3.8. Solana is up 2.7. Unchanged on the hour, down 6.6 on the week, up 3.7 on the month, and down 32.2 on the year to $84.02. XLM is up 3.3. Stellar's making some moves, looks like. Powell is up 2.8. Flux is up 3.8. Dash is up 2%. Keep getting all these freaking texts about, I don't know what this is. All kind of weird what is this? Mortgage rate changes and updates and loans and weird stuff. Strongholds up 2.2 on the day, 2.3 on the hour, down 5.5 on the week, 16% down on the month, and 43.8 on the year to 004. Also want to keep an eye on Gala's up 2.9, ZK's up 2.1, Cardano's up a 2.8, ICP is up 2.2, and I actually saw someone talking about that yesterday, so I might check that out. XVS is up 6.2. Trump coin is up 3.9. AIXBT is up 2.3. Canon Network. I need to make a Canon video. I haven't been talking about Canon in a while. Let me just circle back with these guys. Put that on the thing. They've been kind of stagnant as well. Links up 4.3. Pith is up 4.3. Bitcoin SV's up 2.2. Filecoin's up 3%. Tile is down 2.6. What is going on here? Down 0.5 on the hour, down 2.6 on the day, up 9.7 on the week, up 82.1 for the month, and up 34.8 on the year to 310. Gonna wait on the dip and buy some more of that. Alchemy Pay is up 2.3. Sui's up 3.8. So let's look at the big boys. So Bitcoin is down to $67,402. So it is under the 70K mark, down 0.4 in the hour, up 1.3 on the day, down 4.4 on the week, up 3.8 on the month, and down 18.2 on the year. Keeping it moving. Ethereum is down 0.4 on the hour, up 3.2 on the day, down 3.1 on the week, up 8.7 on the month, and up 13.6 on the year to 2,064. So it's holding tight in the 2,000 range. And now our favorite payroll processor, our favorite cross-border payment. I'm tripping. The tech of the future, the cryptocurrencies we all know and love, down 0.3 on the hour, up 1.1 on the week, on the day, down 6.3 on the week, up 1.6 on the month, and down 36.2 on the year to $1.34. So definitely still room to run there. But let's see. Going over to the crypto market. Let me refresh this real quick to make sure we got the most up-to-date numbers. So, while we're waiting, check out the BTM Crypto News Network. Go ahead and join and make sure you get current on news and events and how things are currently going in the market. Try to keep you updated and keep you going. So currently, market cap is 2.3 trillion, up 1.25%. CNC 20 is $139.48, up 1.51%. Fear and greed is at 27. Looks like it is pulling back towards neutral. It was going down. Altcoin season is at a 49, so we're definitely pulling away from Bitcoin dominance. About halfway now. Crypto average RSI is 47.8. Going over to XRP. XRP is up 1.13% on the day. Market cap is 82.2 billion, up 1.3. And this is why that thumbnail says whales are buying. Looks like 24-hour volume is 1.9 billion, almost at 2 billion on the day. And you can see that's up 112%. So somebody's buying in the background, and it's not retail. Moving forward, the ETF for XRP spot 6.2 million. Leverage is 7.3. Currently, Bitwise is up 1.22% to $15 even. Today's volume is 3.6 million. Franklin Templeton's 1.53. $14.56, 1.5 million. 21 shares is up 1.02 to $13.05. 1.12 million in 24-hour trading volume. Canary Capital is up 1.42 to $14.26, 359,000. Canary Capital is usually in the top for 3 actually. Not sure what's going on there. Grayscale is down to $25.99. And when I got into Grayscale, I think it was like $30 or $40, and it's slowly coming down. So these guys are going to catch Grayscale. I might see, use the Grayscale and buy other ETFs. 209 24-hour trading volume. Rex Offspray is 1.38% up to $10.99. 75K 24-hour trading volume. Turcom 2X for leverage trades is up 2.13 to $3.84 with the 4 million trading volume. Volatility shares 2X is up 2.08% to $40.23, 1.6 million 24-hour trading volume. Pro shares is $3.67, up 1.66, 776K 24-hour trading volume. Volatility shares 1.13, $7.58, 735K. And Amplify up 1.3 to $13.96, up 133K as well. So this is the ledger. Distributed asset value is down 15.2% on the month to 408.8 million. RWA count is 289. Represented asset value is 1.4 billion, down 5% on the month. Stablecoins is 413.8 million, up 22.9 on the month. Okay. I guess they added a new RWA. I want to say this was 24 or 23, maybe 25. 25 will be more than 8% though. So it is a 26 RWA holders up 8.3. Stablecoin holders 56.4, up 58.12 in the last month. RWA transfers is 13 million, down 96, which was, it used to be way. That's weird. It's down. Stablecoin 30-day transfer is 1.3 billion, up 14.7. And to stop this, so wait. So this is RLUSD is up 24% finally to 370.9 million. Ondo's 165 million. And I'm not even sure what the rest of these are. So over to the radar, and then we'll get back to the news. So in escrow is 39.6 billion. And that is a big number. People keep bringing that up. XRP burnt is 14.3 million. This RLUSD is 318. It used to be 1.5 billion. So I'm not sure, but every time we bring it up, they update it, but they haven't updated it recently. Exchanges hold 14.1 billion XRP. ETFs and indexes 769.8 million. DeFi and AMM is 273 million. Tokenized RWA is 1.5 billion, and the treasury is 473 million. On the exchanges, looks like Upbit added 1.3 million. They still hold 38% of the supply. Binance is unchanged at 16.5. BitThumb added 1.4 million at 12.8%. Uphold is creeping up, man. They're going to be in the number 3 spot soon. They lost 145K at 11.6. BitBank 686K at 4%. CoinCheck 83K at 3.9. eToro 57K at 3.2. Crypto.com is up to, they might be in the top 5 soon as well, to 886K, 2.4%, and Coin One 104K at 2.2%. Bitflyer 240K at 1.3. So keeping it moving. That is all the numbers. So I did see this article earlier. Ripple researchers propose privacy preserving transfers for XRPL multi-purpose token. researcher, Ripple X researchers detail confidential transfers of multi-purpose token on XRPL. Issuers control freezing and clawback remain intact under the new protocol. A March 2026 U.S. Treasury report backs legitimate blockchain privacy use cases. The Ripple research team published a paper adding transaction privacy to the XRP ledger. The paper introduced a confidential transfer multi-purpose token, confidential MPTS. The goal is to ensure institutional and regulated use cases with issuers controlling, such as freezing and clawback. I don't even know what the clawback is. I don't know. If you guys know, you can explain it in the comments. I don't even know what what they're even talking about the clawback. That's weird, but I want to add this to the news channel so I can keep you guys updated. And let's go back. Hello. See what else is going on here. Is this out? The paper by Matt Ratz, Atchain, and Joseph. The confidential MPTs would be a cryptographic extension of XLS33 token standard, which went live on the XRPL mainnet in October. The protocol replaces plain text per account balances in EC ELAM ciphertext. Formerly, it uses non-interactive zero-knowledge proofs to ensure transfer correctness and balance sufficiency without requiring decryption by validator. Meanwhile, the sender and receiver identified remained visible, preserving the XRPL account-based model. To accommodate regulatory and institutional requirements, confidential MPTs provide cryptographic auditability through an on-chain selective disclosed model based on multi-chain ciphertext balance representatives and liquidity proofs while remaining compatible with the simpler issuer meditated audit models. So basically they're saying with the update, you can still audit to see who's sending what. A lot of people with the privacy are concerned that you won't know who's sending the money. But rest assured, the government's going to keep track of who's sending what to whom. So you don't have to worry about that. But looks like they're trying to encrypt it so you don't have to actually use the names. You just use the account numbers. So they're saying they can keep track of it with the account numbers. Ripple pushes more privacy, bank blockchains to banks, and adds AI code checks as fear grows. As fear grow it could leave XRP priced behind. XRP aims to revolutionize institutional blockchain with enhanced privacy and AI security features on the XRPL. So Ripple is trying to reshape institutional case for the XRP ledger around two issues that have long limited the use of the blockchain in mainstream finance: privacy and software risk. The company's argument is that the bank's payment firms and asset managers may be more willing to use a public ledger for tokenized cash, treasury operations, and other regulated financial activities if they can keep sensitive transaction data from a broad crypto view, and if the network can show stronger security controls as it grows more complex. That marks the broader repositioning of the XRPL for years was tied mainly to cross-border payments. Ripple now wants the ledger to be seen as part of a larger institutional stack spanning stablecoin custody, treasury infrastructure, and tokenized asset flows with compliance tooling and permission market structure layered in the network. So basically, they're saying they're going to be able to decrypt it so you can't read it, and it should be able to open up to the broader crypto market. So back on X, Ripple researchers publish specifications XRP institutional grade infrastructure moves to a deliberate stage. XRP Prime pushes into Wall Street's post trade plumbing using XRP and stablecoins to speed up settlement and modernization market infrastructure. So this is Crazy Invest XRP. Alleged 11 million XRP theft countersuits widow of country music legend George Jones. A Tennessee man is accusing of stealing 11 million XRP from the widow of the country music legend George Jones has filed a countersuit. What? Okay, that's weird. And how did he get access to the crypto anyway? That's even weirder. So I don't know. Maybe the privacy is what happened. XRP burnt spikes in March, then snapped right back. If the burn only jumps when fees do, this is actually bullish or noise? It's a good question. A quick video, 50% collapse in US tech talent is a wake-up call for 2026 transitions. We need structural firewall of Clarity Act to secure our sovereignty, bridging institution security, and how we lead to the future. We are properly
percent. In 2018, the US share of global blockchain developers was 40%, and today it is down to 20%. While the rogue regulation of former SEC Chair Gary Gensler did America no favors in fostering crypto innovation in America, that does not mean it is too late to reverse his policies and establish America as the crypto capital of the world by doing something that we already did, passing Clarity Act. We're losing our blockchain developers because foreign jurisdictions are adopting clearer frameworks. So there is that urgency for us to get this done and get it across the finish line as soon as possible. In 2018, the US share of global blockchain developers was 40%, and today it is down to 20%. While the rogue
have mentioned that several times as well. As these guys fight over the Clarity Act, we are getting further and further behind. So I'm not sure they just need to go ahead and give it up the yields just so the country can progress, right? They're fighting tooth and nail over who's making the most money, and it's hurting the country as a whole. As we get behind in the crypto race, because these guys, as always, are only worried about money. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. They laughed when it was under $1. They doubted the utility. They ignored the infrastructure being built. Now they're staring at stacks and wishing they paid attention. Buy one XRP in 2030. Okay, it's weird. Weekly updates. Price range. XRP traded between the low of $1.30 and the high of $1.46 this week. Consolidating, choosing to period around $1.33 amidst the broader crypto market volatility. Current spot price sits approximately at 135. Where are we? 134. Okay. XRPL activity remains strong with daily payments and transaction surging early in March, hitting multi-million levels. AMA pools expanding. The tokenization asset growth continuing despite the price action, institutional interest building. Surveys show 25% of the institutions plan XRP exposure in 2026, up from 18%, highlighting growing adoption. Ripple CEO Brad Gissinghouse called 2026 a record breaking year for Ripple and XRPL, citing real world use cases in payments and DeFi's mixed technicals, with some sell the news reactions post recent clarity, SEC and CFTC commodity classification. But on chain metrics show whale accumulation and declining exchange reserves. So, keeping it moving. Next article. This is humans. Wait.
Hate uncertainty. So instead of thinking about age, at the end of the day, human hate losing money. Human hate unhappy paths. We hate uncertainty. So instead of thinking about Asian are bringing more risk, I would flip the switch by talking about Asian actually can help you to remediate the risk.
That's
A
fascinating.
lot of people doesn't trust Tesla autopilot because they thought it's a machine. But the insurance company is offering a lower quote for cars with autopilot features in place.
That's crazy.
Because statistically, humans are actually more error prone. So with that said, I think I really appreciate or respect Evernorth is aggressively taking the approach by thinking about how to incorporating AI agent solution into your risk management daily task. Because fundamentally, introducing that process not only help you guys to improve the efficiency, and also help you to remediate the risk, especially within this 24/7 crypto volatile market. At the end of the day, human hate losing money. Human hate unhappy paths.
And that's definitely understandable. People not trusting the autopilot, but he's right, right? The autopilot is probably safer than most of you maniacs out there. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't want to go with the AI, especially when it's money involved. I think AI is not going to make a lot of big risk. Just in bankers claim central bank agreed upon a $5,000 set price for XRP. And this is what I've been screaming at you guys for months. The price of XRP has to come up. If they're moving multi-million dollars worth of transactions, there is no way they can do it at XRP being $1, right? It's got to come up, and it's going to come up quick. I've mentioned this several times, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But definitely, there's no way it's going to be able to work at the current price, right? Well, I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. But let's click to the video real quick.
Predetermined price that is so high that it's going to blow your hair off, rip your face off. It's so high that it was agreed upon by a group of powerful people and corporations at a level that would function as the global standard in transfer payments as a bridge asset. What are the giant players? Well, there's the IMF, there's the Depository Trust working with Bank of New York Mellon, there's NASDAQ, there's SWIFT, and there's Wall Street and all the big banks. And there's more. There's a lot more. There's more that, I'm not very familiar with, but, it's just background financial structures. Central banks, that's another big piece. They got together. I believe this happened 5 years ago. They got together a long time ago and said, we want to limit the public ownership, so we'll do some frivolous SEC lawsuits. We don't want the public to own much of this. And let's just agree on, initially a $5,000 price. And eventually it'll be maybe $12,000. But we need this thing to work. It's going to be a brick in the transfer system globally for moving money,
And as a massive conspirator, I definitely can agree and they're doing this. I mean, it makes sense that they would position it where It'll be a lot of FUD, and nobody would want to buy it, and they would buy it up cheap and run with it, guys. So they could get as much as possible because everyone else thinks it ain't doing nothing, right? And they would take advantage and go crazy. 2.2 million flowed into XRP ETFs last week. Everything else bled. This is Trump says America will lead the world as the undisputed crypto superpower if they can ever get this Clarity Act passed. XRP community stepped up. Coinbase is down 20% during the Clarity drama. Meanwhile, XRP keeps gaining traction. So we'll see if you can't stop thinking about it because you know you are destined for it. And it's just a matter of when. I hope sooner than later. This is the Clarity Act is done. Loomis confirmed. Text drops next week.
This week, we'll probably have to go into next. We will start voting on the Genius Act, the stablecoin bill, this week. I don't think we're going to complete it this week. We'll probably have to go into next week because a number of amendments will be filed. But we have worked long and hard to bring Democrats to the place where they can vote for cloture. I think we're there.
So what are the remaining hurdles for Democrats? What have they told you that their concerns are? What's keeping them from getting on board completely?
Well, we have generally agreed to many of the amendments they wanted. There were concerns about illicit finance.
So, adoption. Let's see, get us something cool to look at. Yeah. So, let's talk about adoption where the title starts making sense. Ripple announced in March its expanding payment infrastructure and custom momentum, pitching itself as a end-to-end platform for moving money across traditional framework and digital trails. The company says it has more than 75 regulated licenses worldwide, which matters because the institutions do not like regulatory mystery, like paperwork compliance and people in suits pretending to be excited on conference calls. Ripple also said the APAC payment volume nearly doubled year over year in 2025. It's not a meme. That's the kind of sentence institutionals actually care about. Then look at the regional expansion. In Australia, Ripple announced plans to tie the securing Australian financial service license through a proposed acquisition structure. In Brazil, Ripple said it plans to apply for a VSAP license under the country's new framework. That matters because people who said adoption, too many people meant did my barber buy XRP? That is not adoption game Ripple's chasing. Ripple's chasing payment structures, compliance, settlement, treasury use cases, custody, and institutional workflows. There's a different lane, less sexy, but also where bigger pools of money live. Retail wants fireworks, institutional wants compliant memos, and 3 sign offs from legal. Believe it, bro. They're not taking no chances, especially with crypto being new. But let's click to a.
Absolutely. It is a new week, and I'm pumped. For those in the Discord, get ready, because we're going to do some serious learning. For the Earners Plus tier, you have the 3 days of trading, but we are going to absolutely bring some of that poly market trading that I talked about in last night's video. I know we talked about a possible futures, a possible poly market, and I have been absolutely reviewing this thing and trying to figure out what gives us the best chance to do what we need to do to take a step towards financial freedom, if you know what I mean. And if you're with me with that, hit FF, or I should say hit FF, put FF in the comments and where you're watching from today. I am pumped if you can't tell. And for those wondering, what are you talking about, Mo? You guys know I share my moves in the Discord. You got a national champion, 2-time national champion coach here when it comes to investing. You got a 15-time state champion coach when it comes to investing. Recognized on the Senate floor multiple times. Now I come to you here on YouTube. All I ask, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, make sure you get a part of this. But man, if you're not in the Discord, we are about to elevate the game in there. And what I'm talking about is the learning and hopefully the earning. As you guys know, if you are a trader, you're watching it, you're like, man, I need help. I need to learn from the best. Well, now you don't have to worry about it. Come on over and join. We are going to introduce, and this is something I'm going to do. I don't know how successful we're going to be, but I feel pretty good about it. I've been doing more and more research on it, and I'm feeling real good about it. But for those who do not know, we have been talking about bringing into the Discord the live trading of XRP and the live trading. And a lot of people have been asking me for it because they're working during the days. They need some trading at night, and they want to use my indicator, which you guys know my indicator is right here, and you get access to my indicator. All you got to do, I'm choking right now on corned beef hash. You guys ever have corned beef hash? Let me just tell you a quick story. We're gonna do a tangent here. So my son's under the weather right now, and he got sick as a dog. He went on the trip with me, sick as a dog right now. So I made him some corned beef hash. My dad, old military man, my grandfather, my great grandfather, all military men. So growing up, my dad would open up a can of Mary Kitchen corned beef hash. Best stuff ever made. Man, the cholesterol is a little high, so you got a bad ticker. You don't want to be messing around with the cholesterol, but man, it is the best thing. Cook it I nuke it for 3 minutes. I know some people fry it, but man, I gave him a can. He's never had a can in his life. And I gave him a can. He's sick. He's like, I don't care what you give me. I was like, all right, here you go, man. So I cooked him a can. He's like, oh my God. He goes, this is fantastic. And you guys know him as trade coach in the Discord. And so we hooked him up and got him some of that, a little Spindrift drink too, a little lemon Spindrift, man. He says, I'm feeling better already. I said, that kind of food will do it to you. If you ever had it, let me know in the comments. But man, it's something else. But back to what we were talking about. If you're not in the Discord, you're going to want to get in there. We got the 3 regular options trading that I do. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Earner Plus gets Wednesday all but to themselves. We got right here, first link, code BREAD to get in there today. You want to join now because I am now going to bring in the live trading, the XRP up or down 5-minute candles. Now, you guys know I trade a lot of different things. Man, with the options that we've been doing live on YouTube, in the Discord, it's all verified, roughly 80% winning days. That is incredible. It puts it in, I believe, in the top 1% in the country. So you guys get access to that. You get all the videos. They're there, good and bad. We win about 4 out of 5 days, lose 1 out of 5 days. It's all there for you to review. Now, we have 37 learning lessons as well in there to help you learn how to trade. It's all about the teaching. You want somebody who's good and knows how to do it. Well, then the biggest thing for people is, how can I put this to work? How can I take the indicator, which I get with the Earner Plus, and use it? Well, I'm going to show you this. Now, there's a lot of tips. I'm going to start making more and more videos on these tips using my indicator. We're going to add those lessons into the Discord to help you with the indicator. But one such lesson would look something like this. All right. Hey, Mo, I got the indicator. I want to trade these 5-minute candles. And they have 15-minute candles. They have all kinds of different candles you can trade. And they have this on Polymarket. These are event contracts. I have never done this before. I have not done it. I am not, I'm looking at it. This is something that a lot of people said they want to see. And I think we can be successful with this. Now, I can also tell you, I saw the manipulation firsthand on the minute candles. Absolutely crazy manipulation out there. And it is wild. Remember, this is the wild, wild west. But one thing I do know, the longer dated candles usually go as planned. And for example, if you look right at this chart right here, this is called a double crust. Now, a double crust, and this is a term I made up, when we break the bottom of the Bollinger Band on 2 consecutive candles right here, 5-minute candle, 5-minute candle, we will normally start the rebound over the next few candles up to the 13 EMA. Once we break the 13 EMA, we normally will have a little bit of a pullback. Now, this is the standard. So after this candle is over, I would expect to run up, most likely, more times than not, up to the 13. Well, it did it right here. And so I come over here and I realize, wow, that is something we can do. Like that was right here, 11:30. So 11:30 candle's not the one, though. And it would be the candle after this, right here. And that's the one I would want to play through up there until we hit the 13. So then I come over here and I think, well, let me look at the 11:30 to 11:35 candle. And yes, outcome up as expected. So I start to think about this and realize there's an opportunity for us in the Discord to possibly add to our repertoire, if you will, of what we do in there. We already teach you about the options trading 3 times a week. How about these event contracts that we could do in the poly market as well? Possible futures too over Kraken. You let me know down below which one that you are interested in. The options, which I already do, that's not going away. We also now are thinking about the Kraken futures or the event contracts, which I think is very simple for people. This is a real easy one for people to do. Let me know down below which one you would prefer or which ones you like, or you can pick all 3, pick one. I think this is definitely going to be a game changer and something I am interested in because I do believe as I look at some of these candles and stuff, the opportunity is there. We break the Bollinger Band. And, you know, I always look for the double cross. And you're not going to have right there's another example, double cross. What did I just tell you? We will meander back to the 13. 1, 2 candles. What happened to the third one? Red, red. That's exactly how I play it. Now, they don't all work out that way. Sometimes, and here you go, red, red. Look at this one. Green up. The next one after the double cross. So we've been successful if we would continue doing that multiple times, but you don't get a lot of opportunities on those double crosses because you don't see them. That's a single one. And you only get them once in a while, but I do want to bring it to your attention because I think it's important that I'm feeding everybody. Up, here we go. 1, 2, what happened on that third candle? Up, exactly what it should be. So a very interesting thing that I've been watching. So I did want you guys to let me know what you thought of it. And if it's something you're interested in, and if you want my tutelage, if you want me to train you on this in the Discord, all you got to do is let me know in the comments. Now, let's get over and take a look at the weekly candle on what's going on for XRP right now. And we want to check this thing out. What do we got there? Boom, there we go. The weekly candles. We're going to check out the weekly candles. And we'll get there. Now, what I've been watching for and what I've been warning you is that we are in some trouble here. We are down to 132 at the making of this video. And at 132, we are only 2 cents away from the ultimate line in the sand that I have, which is 130. If we break 130 and we confirm lower, I think we are going to get down and retest the 112 zone. Believe it or not, we are setting up. We have not been able to take out the 5, but it's not all bad news. The good news, we have possible movement on the Clarity Act after Easter break. Now, the bad news, you get a week to 2 weeks here that we got to wait for Congress to get back, but they are still behind the scenes working on the Clarity Act, trying to get the crypto industry to go with it, but they really bent over backwards to help out the banking. And so I don't know how this is going to end. I already told you what I thought. It's going to be a rider on some must-pass legislation, because the Trump administration will not want it to look like they could not get it across the finish line after promising to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, they need it codified. They need a lot of it codified. The more they can codify, hopefully friendly, the better. Now, the bad news, it isn't all friendly. There are things that still need to be changed over the next week or two, possibly even longer, to make it more friendly for crypto to grow as we go forward. Now, the stablecoin yields, that's the big one. Anybody has stable coins, they don't want to lose their revenue from that. You hear me, Coinbase? We're talking about you. Circle out there and a couple other ones out there. There's some trouble there, right? But if you look at the overall crypto space, it is ready to rock and roll. Do you accept the contract the Clarity Act gives you now and try to do amendments moving forward and getting more and more senators and congressfolk and everybody on board to change the law after it is codified? Or do you just say, we don't want nothing now until we get everything we want? And that's the $1 trillion question. There is so much money on the sideline waiting for this Clarity Act to pass. If it passes, you're going to see institutional money flowing into crypto at a rate it's going to be obscene. It's going to be ugly. A lot of money flowing in, but not until that is done. And so that is the problem. Until then, we got to keep playing the candles. Now, the reverse is going to come eventually. And once it does, when they start announcing things over, I believe, probably the second week of April, let's see, is 13th is when they come back. So I'm guessing we'll get an announcement between now and that end of the third week, hopefully with a markup vote scheduled. That's the announcement I'm looking for, that they will schedule a markup vote. Once they can get Coinbase on board and they say, yeah, we'll take it, then you're going to see that markup vote scheduled. But that Clarity Act has to be good enough for them, and because it is affecting their bottom line. And I think it made up 20% of their revenue was on the stablecoin yield. So if that goes away, obviously there's a lot of issues for Coinbase in terms of the revenue. That's what's the old saying: you're cutting off your nose, spite your face. But if it gives you a brand new facelift with the Clarity Act being codified, maybe it makes sense. I don't know. That's one of the things that we got to see the actual Clarity Act to see where it's at. We're going to hopefully have a nice rebound into today. That's what we're looking for. I got a lot of things I already told you we're going to be doing. The brand new trading. If you're in the Discord, let me know. Put fire in the chat, FIRE, or just a fire emoji so I know you're a part of the Discord. Get in there today. If you're not, we have thousands of members. We're going to try to take it to the next level this week. I'm going to be looking at what we want to do. We'll be talking more in the Discord. First link down below. Once you hit that link, hit join now. Put in code BREAD at checkout. You'll save 10% forever. And you'll get access to all my private lives in there. That is the main game changer. Plus the 37 live stream, or I should say the 37 learning lessons. This is for people who want to know how to trade. This is the Discord for you. You want a national champion coach helping you? That is me. So get in there today. All right, folks, that's the update. We'll see how it goes this week. I'm pretty pumped. We'll see if we can make it. I don't even know. It's like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, I think. We'll see if we can keep the good streak going. I'll see you in the Discord.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Now let's get out there and make some money.
So shout out to Stock Mo. This is I guess it is it. Ripple Bullwinkle.
When I saw these numbers, I almost couldn't believe what was happening. Then I checked the math twice. Bitcoin, it's about to close its 6th consecutive month in red. Now, this has happened exactly once before in Bitcoin's entire history. I mean, that's over a decade's worth of data. August 2018 through January 2019, Bitcoin fell 60% over those 6 months. The current streak right now, it shows a 47% drawdown from its peak. Bitcoin is breaking records on the downside, but this is where it's about to get interesting for XRP holders, because since 2018, when XRP tops out, it has always retested the 200-week EMA. You can see right here where we're sitting. It flirts with it for a while, then it loses it, and it exposes the remainder of the bearish phase. We've been sitting directly on that 200-week EMA for almost 2 months now. Relief first, or are we going to see a cascade like a knife falling through butter? That's the setup, folks. But let me show you the psychology that's keeping you paralyzed, because Credible Crypto, he nails it. And he breaks down why the 90% down trap actually stops you from buying the bottom. Just because your altcoin is down 90% doesn't mean it can fall another 90%. Everyone just nods along and they're like, yeah, that's true. I shouldn't be buying right now. But folks, we're talking percentages, right? Think about it. If Bitcoin goes from 100,000 and it falls 90% down, we have a $10,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, could it fall another 90% more to $1,000? Then another 90% more to $100? I mean, you can repeat that infinitely until a penny, right? The 90% down logic works every single time. You've been holding crypto in cold storage, safe, offline, locked away. Now, what if you can spend it at any store through Apple Pay or Google Pay without ever giving up custody? Tangem just made that real. They just rolled out something called Tangem Pay. That's right. It's virtually a Visa card built directly into the Tangem wallet app. You load it with USDC and you can spend it online or into any store, contactless, just like your regular bank card. But here's the part that matters. Your funds, they stay fully on chain. Tangem never takes custody. You're not sending your crypto to an exchange. You're not going through a third party custodian here. You are spending from your wallet with your keys in complete control. And Tangem built in what they call a siloed compliance model. The KYC, the ID verification, it only applies to the payment account, which is handled by their US partner. Your main Tangem wallet, it stays completely private. No identity data touches Tangem's system at all. That is an enormous deal for anyone who actually cares about financial privacy. So let's be clear about what Tangem is now. It's a cold wallet, a portfolio manager, a DEX swap interface, a staking platform, and a crypto spending card. That's right. All in one card. That costs like $50 and it fits directly into your pocket. The future of crypto spending is here, everyone, and it's self-custodied. Grab yours through my link. You'll get a special discount code. This one's a no-brainer. Whether Bitcoin was 50K, 30K, 20K, or even just $500. Listen to this.
Another comment that I want to make, because I hear this a lot on Twitter. People are like, well, just because your altcoin is down 90% doesn't mean it can't fall down another 90%. And it's like, yeah, that's true. And everyone's like, oh, that's really good. And they're like, that's true. I shouldn't buy right now. It could fall down another 90%. And I'm like, we're talking percentages. So if Bitcoin goes from 100K and it falls 90% down to 10K, yes, it's true that it could fall 90% more from 10K. It'd be at $1,000. And then yes, it's true it could fall 90% more from $1,000. It'd be at $100. And yes, it's true it could fall 90% more. And you can repeat that like infinity until a penny, right? Like 90% down lower can happen an unlimited amount of time. So anytime someone says, well, just because it all is down 90% doesn't mean it can't fall 90% more, they'll be true every single time they say that, whether they said that when Bitcoin was at 50K or they said it was at 30K or 20K or 5K or $500. And so if you're using that logic to justify not buying an alt that's already down 97% from the highs, then you're really just getting yourself into a position to make excuses for not pulling the trigger. So that whole concept of we could always go lower is, in my opinion, a way for people to justify being bearish at the bottom, at the lows, when it's really the time to buy. And of course,
if you're using that logic to justify not buying an alt that's already down 90, 95, even 97% from highs, you're creating excuses for not pulling the trigger. The whole concept of we could always go lower is how people justify being bearish at the bottom when it's actually time to buy. Strip away the noise, everyone. Look, it's very simple. If you bought XRP at 50 cents and XRP is now 10 cents, you should be buying. You should be accumulating. If you bought Bitcoin at 100,000 and it's now 50,000, you're down over 50%. You should be buying. You should be trying to get as close to the bottom or where we believe the bottom is on any of these altcoins. Now, it's not financial advice. It is just logic. If you were bought XRP when it was at its top at $3.65 and it is now $1.30, just for you to break even, you need to see this thing do over a 2x move, almost a 3x move, a 300% gain. You need to lower your dollar cost average. How do you lower a dollar cost average? It's very simple. Go to your favorite exchange, set up a weekly buy, whatever you think you can afford. Everyone knows their own finances. If it's $50 or 500, it doesn't matter, because the longer we sit at these ranges, or if we do go lower, this will keep creeping down your DCA. That's exactly how you do it. You don't just sit there and be like, oh man, I can't believe I bought a 365, it's $1.30, and you don't do anything. You need to get as close to the bottom range as you possibly can. So when XRP does make that run up, instead of you just breaking even at a 300% move, you just made 300% or you just made 200%. That's what you got to do, folks. It really is the most simplest of strategies, but people are so afraid. They're like, but what if it goes lower? Well, if you got a weekly buy and it benefits you because it's going to help lower your DCA that much quicker if it goes lower. Nobody can time a bottom. It is impossible. But when you see altcoins down 90, 95, 97%, you're pretty freaking close because they can't go down that much further. And if they do go down further, you probably picked a shit coin and it's never coming back. Baron Rothschild, he said it best. And everyone should be living by this quote. Warren Buffett also said it as well. The time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. Here you go. I'll highlight it for you. Even if the blood is your own. I've been saying this exact message for months at this point. And that message is we are closer to a bottom than we are the top. Most assets are down 90%. The math doesn't lie. This is what a bottoming formation looks like. Your 9-to-5 paycheck, it stays the same whether crypto goes up or down. But the future and your future wealth, it depends on you being able to recognize these moments and to stop being afraid. When Bitcoin sets historic records for consecutive red months, when XRP sits at a multi-year technical inflection point, when fear reaches maximum levels, that's not an accident. That is opportunity that is disguised as disaster. The technical pattern, eGrad Crypto laid it out. This is repeating again with surgical precision. The 21 EMA you see up here, which I probably got to point this way, which you see here, it crossed over the 200 EMA. You can see it happening right in this region, followed by a 14.6% correction. Now, bottoms formed in roughly 4 bars spanning over about 3 weeks. Now we are seeing the same EMA cross, the same correction at 14%, the same time structure over that 3-week period. Mid-April, that becomes the decision window. Your key level, according to eGrad, is $1.60. We break above that, your momentum will return. I've been saying my level's $1.65. Pretty freaking close now, isn't it? eGrad states if we get above $2.05 and we break above that, that confirms continuation to the upside. I've been saying $2 is when you should be paying attention to XRP. Now on the downside, because there's always downside here, if we lose $1.15, we will get a deeper reset into that 93-cent zone. I've been telling you the region I am looking at. If it does continue to go down and to daddy Bitcoin, we most likely will, especially with all the world events. 90 cents to $1 was the region I was targeting. Mid-April represents a high probability of a bottom. And the next move is expansion if the structure holds. And we won't know if the structure holds until we get to mid-April, which is 2 weeks away. Only few minds see the pattern before it plays out. The math is showing you the blueprint. But the most important signal here is not on the chart, because despite XRP's price decline from the all-time highs from last summer, from the sustained ETF net inflows. They still dwarf the outflows since 2025 began. Your institutional capital is choosing to gain exposure to XRP through ETFs. There will be outflow periods, there always are, but the long-term picture looks promising. And we're going to get more ETFs and we're going to get more index funds. This is just the beginning. Now, I want you to think about what this actually means. Institutional money is flowing into XRP ETFs while retail investors, you know, me and you, we are paralyzed by a 90% down logic. While you're worried about another 90% drop, which isn't coming, by the way. Institutions are accumulating through regulated vehicles. They're not buying the top. They are positioning themselves for what is next. Your job at the office tomorrow, it will be exactly the same whether XRP is $1.40 or $2.40. But your retirement timeline, it changes dramatically based on what you do right here. The 200-week EMA test isn't just another line on a chart. It is the difference between you working until you're 65 and 70 and retiring early with generational wealth. Bitcoin's 6-month red streak matches only one other period in history, right before the next major cycle began. And XRP, sitting at a multi-year technical support while institutions are accumulating with generational wealth. Think about that, everyone. Most people, they're not going to do anything with this information. They're going to sit on the sidelines and they're going to wait for confirmation. They're going to wait for XRP to break $1.60. They're going to wait for it to break $2.05 to show a clear upward momentum. By then, your opportunity is already priced in. By then, you're buying what institutions accumulated months earlier. The Rothschild principle isn't theory. It is how generational wealth transferred from fearful to the prepared. Because when blood is in the streets, even if it's your own blood, that's when the fortunes are made. You're building generational wealth right now, whether you realize it or not. Because every decision made at these levels, they compound over the next decade. The feeling you'll have when XRP breaks these levels and the institutions start to validate what you already know, you're going to remember this exact moment and this exact video when everything changed. You're not waiting for the bottom anymore, folks. You're already there. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You know what? I'll see all y'all.
Wow. Everybody, I believe this market has no clue what to do next. I mean, the last 24 hours, or right now, we got an update from the White House. Get ready. Traders, you're going to make a lot of money, but you got to be really, really smart. And I'm not leaving. I'm bullish. I'm going to be here till the end, and we're going to be fine. Let me show you this on the screen. This is CoinMarketCap. We're seeing the markets really are just at a loss of words right now. I mean, we're seeing update after update after update after update. And I'm like, 31 days of this war. Obviously, it's not easy for crypto to pump, and I know everybody wants that. Before we get to more of that, guys, and give you the latest, I'm also pretty happy because it's a special day. 2 full months of doing as a miner. And this video, as you see the title, we're going to do something special, right? I've been waiting for a while, so why not? So far, it's been working. I'm pretty happy. I want to show you this one, too.
Yeah, as you mentioned, man, the market's crazy, right? These guys have no idea what's going on. If it's going up, if it's going down, if it's going sideways. I'm not even sure they care. I think a lot of this confusion is to keep things going sideways, right? They don't want it to go up. They don't want it to get too far away. They just want it to keep going sideways. So, let's talk some about adoption. Stablecoins RLUSD and why this matters for XRP. A lot of people hear stablecoins and think somehow it hurts XRP. But the more interesting question is whether Ripple is building a broader financial stack where XRP still benefits from the network activity. Ripple says ROUSD issued a natively on XRPL and Ethereum, fully backed by reserves and designed for enterprise grade use. It also announced in January that Binance listed RLUSD on Ethereum with XRPL coming soon. Why does this matter for XRP? Because Ripple isn't just trying to sell one coin, they're trying to build rails. According to Ripple's own institutional DeFi write up, XRP pays directly and indirect roles across the ecosystem through the reserve requirements, transaction fees, and bridging in FX and lending flows. In plain English, if the headline product is stablecoin or tokenization, XRP can still sit underneath parts of the machine. So let's get back to Oscar real quick.
The first one was the 29th. So February, March, that's 2 full months. It's pretty exciting, guys. I started with $6 and now it's going to be a little bit more than that. So drop a like, guys. Consider subscribing to the channel. Turn the notification bells. Let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling. The links down below for you to get to know more about Asset 2 and do your due diligence. As always, we've been posting a few updates too, and you know the latest. There's been a lot of new conversations and opinions on that. So it's good for you, right, to have more information, right? And at the end of the day, you make your conclusions, which we love that. Also, as always, not financial advice, not your financial advisor, right? Understand that this is all for entertainment purposes only. And we're ready to go. I think so far, ASA has been posting, there's a new guide. And for those who don't know, this Discover Crypto used to be Bitboy Crypto, right? But now it's Discover Crypto. This is a 1 million subscriber channel, right? So there's been a lot more channels that have been talking about ASA. It's pretty nice. And they're kind of telling you what's going on, the latest. There's more people that ASA has been reposting as well. This guy too. So I'm like, wow, so cool. Like people are interested. People are finding some utility on it, which is good. Now, if I go all the way up, little by little, guys, you're going to see that I've reinvested back in the day, right? Invested. Then I got to a level that I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start taking, I have a different strategy, basically. So, which is okay, right? You do whatever you want. In less than 3 hours, so this doing ASA, so far so good. And I've been keeping up with the updates. I told you that I was going to give you another update. So far for me works. And I know there's been a lot of conversations and feedback. And if you guys want to join that, go ahead and join the ASA chat right here. You can talk about it. You can, discuss whatever you want. So take a look at the link down below. You'll find my link to you.
Welcome back to the show.
And also a link where you can join.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, XRP time is up. Guess what? The Clarity Act. Is passage set? Do we have a date where we can get passage on the Clarity Act in the Senate? Oh, I think that we do. Somebody roll that beautiful in.
Request in that we're not asking for any pricing and rating.
Yeah, sorry about that. This guy's going down a rabbit hole for what was that? That miner he was doing. But this is Digital Perspectives Clarity Act scheduled to pass in May. We'll see what's going on with this.
Intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. 30 days left until XRP Las Vegas. Get your tickets.
The countdown is on. XRP Las Vegas 2026, the world's largest XRP conference, is almost here. Right now, discounted general admission tickets are still available, but not for long. That window is closing soon. This April 30th through May 1st at the iconic Paris Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. The biggest names, the boldest ideas, and the future of finance all come together. This isn't just a conference, it's a movement. The National Crypto Association will be on site with a recording booth, giving you the chance to share your story, how crypto and digital assets have changed your life. And for developers, the EZA Hackathon. Build the next breakthrough on the XRP ledger. Compete for $100,000 in prize money provided by the XRP Las Vegas Conference. From regulation to innovation to real-world adoption, this speaker lineup covers every angle of the new financial system. And through it all, XRP remains the North Star, guiding what's next, defining what's possible. Don't wait. Secure your spot. Be in the room. XRP Las Vegas 2026, April 30th to May 1st. The future isn't coming, it's already here.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are at $2.42 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.5% because we may have some good news on the Clarity Act. Who wants it? Yeah, we all do. Bitcoin 67,800 plus at the moment. Ethereum holding just over 2,000 and change. XRP number 5 spots $1.35. We're up 1.2 on the 24 and off 1.5 on the 7-day. We're ranging between 135 and 137, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you very quickly about iTrust Capital. If you have not checked out iTrust Capital, let me tell you, they have added so many different products here to suit everyone's needs. So whether you're looking for the best crypto IRAs, physical gold and silver on the planet, you just found them, or whether you're looking for the PCA account that is set up for that long-term investor to bring that peace of mind you need, or maybe you have a business and you want to put together a digital asset utility treasury for your business. Or maybe you have a family trust you want to put your assets in, or a nonprofit. Listen, they have everything you need. And it's not limited, by the way. Across every one of these offerings, you get your own back office. You get self-empowered. You get a self-empowered back office so you can go in and manage all your assets 24/7, 365, and you get to trade 80 plus assets, and you can take advantage of staking too. Click the first link underneath the video to get started today. You're going to love it. Take a look at this. We got to start here to level set for this because if you've been in this space long enough, there in fact was a grand conspiracy against Ripple and XRP. This goes right back to one of the OGs in the space. Shout out to Cowboy X right here. Cowboy X shows that Epstein was invested in Coinbase, and Coinbase is partnered with JP Morgan, who banked Epstein. Ironic? Yeah, kind of. Not really, but kind of. Again, knee bone connected to the leg bone, right? And we know that also there was this that was released over the weekend, I believe it was. But again, the story of Coinbase, going back to 2023 with David Schwartz, the story of Coinbase listing XRP is the only story I most wish I could tell that I can't. Now, with that being said, there was a hypothetical story that was shared later on in June of that same year by David. And he says, I'm going to tell you a completely made up hypothetical story. Now, a lot of people are assuming that this may be the hypothetical way of talking about what Coinbase really did, right? When they delisted and wouldn't list XRP. So here's it. And now, again, we're speculating, right? We're speculating. I'm always clear about that. I'm going to tell you a completely made up and hypothetical story. Any resemblance to real exchanges, living or dead, is entirely coincidental, he says. Imagine an exchange doesn't list XRP despite its obviously being in their business interest. They ask Ripple for millions of dollars to list, and we refuse. Months pass. We are at a standstill. They refuse to list. We refuse to pay. They concede they'd list if we didn't exist. To the outside world, the refusal to list appears inexplicable. Finally, Ripple works out a deal where we give the exchange money and they list XRP. XRP immediately becomes 20% of the exchange's revenue. We are pissed, but what else could we have done? We had not existed the exchanges would have listed months ago. We paid money to not let our existence hurt the ecosystem. Then a litigation advisory selectively uses some of these facts to imply we were using money to unfairly boost XRP adoption or liquidity. If that actually happened to you, would you be pissed off? Yeah, 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 I sure would be. Yeah. And if this happens to be a hypothetical about Coinbase and all the drama that they were, you see that they are connected with JP Morgan and partner with JP Morgan as well. And I just wanted to touch on that because it is Brian Armstrong that has stalled this bill twice. Now let's move to this. That's what I call level set. BlackRock is hiring a managing director of digital assets in New York City, offering up to $350,000 base to lead its crypto and tokenization strategy. I bet you, out of all the people that are listening to this video, almost all of you would probably qualify as much as you've been in this space and know that, all this information. I bet you could go in there and absolutely function to a high degree. I'm not trying to diminish the importance of the role. I'm just saluting all of you that have been in this space every day and have done the work to educate yourself. And I remind you not to overlook that new knowledge that you've built could take you places in your life that you never considered before. So maybe now's the time to consider these things. Maybe it's not BlackRock, obviously, but maybe there is some pathways forward for you to be a consultant for smaller firms. Maybe you have an idea for a business project. I don't know. I'm just saying, when I see these things, I like to remind the audience just how much information you actually have built in your own mind. Meanwhile, Franklin Templeton is just really out here celebrating the innovation that is at hand here. I want you to listen to CEO Jenny Johnson from Franklin Templeton, along with Sandy Call from Franklin Templeton, lay this down. This is so good. Take a listen.
I'm here with at FII with Sandy Call. Sandy led a panel this morning, and you had three great panelists. Tell us about that. We had Jeremy on there, the CEO of Circle, which does the USDC stablecoin. We had Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, who is one of the largest payment processors and has the XRP blockchain and the Ripple stablecoin. And we had Sarah Fryer, who is the CFO of OpenAI. Why does a TradFi firm like Franklin Templeton care about this stuff? We really are at the forefront of what we're able to provide. One of the reasons that they want to work with us is because we have created the only money market fund that is right now being offered natively on chain. Because of that, offer completely new kinds of functionality. We can settle our transactions instantly, any second of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No one can do that except Franklin Templeton. How is that different from other money market funds? Because we have built this infrastructure that we have rolled out across 9 different blockchains, and we are able, therefore, to settle these trades on our own. We are the own transfer agent. We issue them, we tokenize it, we settle it, we pay out the yield in incremental new token issuance. We really are doing things that are changing the course of the industry. That's awesome. Now I understand why it was standing room only at the breakfast.
No doubt about it. You can hear the excitement in both of them at Franklin Templeton. More on that later. We'll get into that later, but we got to shift gears and get into what's going on with the Clarity Act now, because obviously between BlackRock hiring, Franklin Templeton bragging that they're the only ones in traditional finance doing exactly what they're doing with the help of the XRP Ledger and Ripple and other chains, and 8 other chains at least, right? Where are we at with the Clarity Act? Well, here it is. You're going to love it today. Clarity Act news, Senate markup set for April as Coinbase fights to save the $1.35 billion revenue in stablecoin yield that they have to split with Circle. Okay, let's get right to it here. Clarity Act is all set to make headlines again, with Coinbase hinting at a possible Senate markup in the second half of April and a potential passage by May. That lines up with our own Brad Garlinghouse right there, ladies and gentlemen. And here's Coinbase themselves saying it right here. Shout out to Chart Nerd for this one. Crypto industry leaders are currently working on a coordinated counter proposal to explain why targeted changes are needed to protect customers and preserve sustainable rewards programs. The base case is to resolve the rewards language over the next 3 weeks, alongside the open issues such as designing a workable SEC front door and preserving the SEC's exemptive authority so that Senate Banking Committee can hold a markup in the second half of April, paving the way for a potential final passage as early as May, if floor time allows. Well, I tell you what, I think they got to make room for it, because at the end of the day, it is the banks that benefit, ladies and
from
gentlemen.
This White House, we're seeing amazing leadership to push this forward. And so I think we're going to get there. It's just taking a little longer than we thought.
So what happens to Ripple once clarity gets passed?
Now, remember, we just talked about how excited Franklin Templeton was and BlackRock hiring for digital assets.
Well, it won't change Ripple's business too much. What it does is it unlocks the banks in the United States who have been a little bit fearful about, should I lean into this industry? What if there is a future Gary Gensler? And then how am I going to have to unwind things? So if we get that codified into law, it's an unlock for the banks around the world.
Yes, it is, and especially the United States. Shout out to Brad Garlinghouse. He says here, we're going to have a record quarter, Brad Garlinghouse said, noting that Ripple has been on a tear following last year's wave of headline making buying spree. So, yeah, they bought Hidden Road, they bought Rail Financial, they bought G Treasury, they bought Palisades, right? They have been busy. And then Brad said that they're going to work very hard to settle in and make sure that these new acquisitions are properly handled, that we're not moving so quickly that we overlook integration to the level it needs to be done. Now, remember, Brad Garlinghouse also highlighted in the interview that we covered over the weekend with Maria Bartiromo, where he also acknowledged that because they've bought Hidden Road and G Treasury, there are $15 trillion worth of settlement between just those two companies they acquired. And none of them were using real USD stablecoins. And therein lies the opportunity. So we get the Clarity Act passed, and you have to wonder how much of that 15 trillion between the two is processed every year. How much of that 15 trillion will begin to select digital stable coins for settlement and use XRP gas to get it done? And then how many of them will actually be using XRP to affect settlement as well, out of that 15 trillion in volume that's done between the two? How much of that gets captured into the new choice? And it all comes down to the banks and institutions going, well, do I want the money to get there 3 to 5 days from now, or do I want it to get there in less than a minute? This is what we're looking at now. So this is where we're going. And then I want to remind everybody, I asked Grok over the weekend about the 20% threshold rule in the Clarity Act, which means that if you have more than 20% as a network company or operator, you have to get rid of the overage to meet that 20% threshold. Well, because XRP was recently designated as a commodity, and we've always known since the court case was won that XRP is not a security, but the recent commodity designation, I asked Grok, I was like, hey, what's going on here? Will XRP have to, adhere to the 20% threshold rule? Grok's answer says no. Ripple will not have to face a strict legal requirement to immediately reduce the XRP escrow holdings below the 20% threshold. It goes on to explain, because basically that rule is not a hard cap that forces divestment or burning. It is part of a broader facts-based and circumstance analysis of control that allows the commission to set or adjust related percentages in rulemaking based on your particular situation, basically. I'm paraphrasing, but that's really the truth. So now, with that being said, if you look at it, it's basically suggesting that because it already has a commodity treatment, there is no reason to come back and address the 20% rule, because it already has been designated as a commodity. So if that in fact plays out, Ripple gets their national bank charter and a Federal Reserve master skin account, Watch out, world. Nobody said it better than David Schwartz back in 2017. It can't be dirt cheap. That doesn't make any sense. If XRP costs $1, then they need 1 million XRP, which costs $1 million. If XRP cost $1 million for one, then they'd need one XRP, which would again cost $1 million. So you get it, right? It's very simple. He came back and answered this not long ago. He said it's very simple. It's saying that the higher the price of XRP, other things being equal, the cheaper it is to use for its payments. That's exactly right. And the higher the price in XRP, it doesn't affect the liquidity depth, because the more it costs, the less you need of it to affect liquidity overall, right? So, but we got to get there. And I think we need all these fundamental things like the Clarity Act and everything else to go with it, right? So with that, you know, I brought this back out because I do believe Ripple and XRP unlock the bottleneck that is, in fact, traditional finance. As you can see, traditional finance institutions run through DTC and SWIFT, right? And there's others, but it's a generalization, right? It's an overview. But just laying it out here, now you have all of these areas through custody, payments and settlement, and corporate treasury, where Ripple is really poised here to service the industry and unlock that bottleneck of TradFi and get them into the new digital on-chain economy. Now, what can things look like once we do that? We don't know, but isn't that a part of the excitement and the awareness that we all have to be here this early to find out? And that's all we're really waiting for, is to get all of these watermarks accomplished and to hit all of these watermarks so we can truly find out how traditional finance does appear to accept, embrace, or reject XRP. I'm excited to find out, and I know a lot of you are too, but this is where we sit right here, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. We will see. If we lose the area we're in now, we could come back down to the 90-cent range. And if we do, I'm going to try to do everything I can to buy the rest of it, but I know it won't be possible. It's not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. We're going into the freedom zone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I hope you will join us. Click the link underneath the video and join us in the freedom zone, and come on in.
Coinbase could lose billions of dollars if the current version of the Clarity Act gets passed. There's some new information coming to light that you need to know. It really makes sense why Coinbase is pushing so hard right now to make sure the bill kind of dies where it is or gets a new version that allows them to keep going with what they're doing. But I first wanted to take you back in time here. This is a story from David Schwartz about Coinbase not listing XRP and what Coinbase demanded of Ripple back in the early days. Take a look at this. The story of Coinbase listing XRP is the only story I most wish I could tell, but I can't. I'm going to tell you a completely made up hypothetical story. Any resemblance to the real exchanges, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. Imagine an exchange doesn't list XRP despite it obviously being in their best interest. They asked Ripple for millions of dollars to list and we refuse. Months passed and we're at a standstill. They refuse to list. We refuse to pay. They concede they'd list if we didn't exist. So if Ripple didn't exist, they would already have listed it. To the outside world, the refusal to list appears inexplicable. Finally, Ripple works out a deal where we give the exchange money and they list XRP. XRP immediately becomes 20% of the exchange's revenue. We are pissed, but what else could we have done? Had we not existed, the exchange would have listed months ago. We paid money not to let our existence hurt the ecosystem. Then a litigation advisory selectivity uses some of the facts to imply that we were using money to unfairly boost XRP adoption or liquidity. If that actually happened to you, would you be pissed? So it appears that this whole thing kind of Ripple in the long run, as they just wanted to get XRP into holders' hands here, making it easier for them to access it through Coinbase as they demanded money. Now, this is a made-up story, right? And we don't have the original facts because there's probably NDAs, but that is what David Schwartz said there in 2023. Now let's shift back here to today and find out what Coinbase is up to and some of this stuff. So Deanna's saying Coinbase holding up the Clarity Act or saving the crypto community. Coinbase's 35% commission exposed. As the Senate prepares to drop the final Clarity Act draft next week, Coinbase is pushing back hard warning that the latest version could quietly damage the entire crypto community. Coinbase and Circle generated around 2.7 billion from USDC reserves in 2025, with over 60% of that flowing to Coinbase and roughly 1.35 billion tied directly to rewards revenue. Coinbase takes up to 35% commissions on staking rewards across major coins like ADA, Atom, AVAX, DOT, ETH, Matic, Sol, XT, a direct cut from yield that you earn. And now the Clarity Act threatens to ban passive yield entirely, meaning no rewards for just holding stablecoins like USDC. So suddenly this fight makes a lot more sense because Coinbase isn't just defending crypto innovation, it's protecting a massive revenue engine tied directly to user yield. So that is interesting. Now, I did want to pull up some additional information. Coinbase earned about 1.35 billion in stablecoins, mainly USDC revenue in 2025, roughly 19% of total company revenue. So you're talking about 1/5 of Coinbase's total revenue is this 1.35 billion that they are getting just because they allowed USDC on their platform early on, and they worked out a sweet deal here. Analysts covering the bill estimate that the provisions eliminating yield on passive stablecoin balances could strip 800 million in annual revenue from Coinbase and undercut these conditions. That implies well over half of Coinbase's stablecoin income is tied to user yield mechanics that the Clarity Act draft targets rather than purely non-sharing economies with Circle. In other words, if the current version passed and were enforced as written, Coinbase could lose around 800 million a year and potentially more over time, as USDC growth had been expected to make their biggest move or their biggest profit engine. That is pretty insane. I did want to show you some information here about Coinbase holding up the Clarity Act or saving the crypto community. As the Senate banking prepares to drop the draft next week, Coinbase has told Senate staffers that it has significant concerns with the latest stablecoin compromise. Critics are accusing Coinbase of stalling the biggest U.S. crypto bill in history to protect its own billions. It says Brian Armstrong, the CEO of the biggest U.S. crypto company, has having coffee with the former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair at the World Economic Forum in Davos last week when JP Morgan Chase's Jamie Dimon cut in. "You're full of," said Dimon, a longtime crypto skeptic who previously called Bitcoin a fraud. His index finger pointed squarely at Armstrong's face. Late January 2025 in Davos, Jamie Dimon crashes a coffee meeting with Coinbase's Brian Armstrong and explodes. He accuses Coinbase of lying about banks and secretly gutting the Clarity Act. The war point whether stablecoins like USDC can keep paying everyday users with real rewards for just holding them. And of course, there was a lot of drama to be had between these two companies. Then in July 2025, the two giants announced a blockbuster partnership. Chase customers can now link their bank accounts straight to Coinbase wallets, fund trades with credit cards, and transfer reward points directly into crypto. The contradiction is impossible to ignore. It also raises the same big question everyone is asking: how much of this is real tension and how much of it is strategic theater? And so, man, the fight centers on one killer provision of the Senate's latest draft. It bans passive yield, no rewards paid simply for holding stablecoin balances. Anything that feels like a bank interest gets blocked. Only narrow activity-based rewards might survive. Coinbase and partner Circle did make that 2.75 billion last year. The exchange pockets 100% of platform rewards and 50% elsewhere, totaling an estimated 1.35 billion and nearly 19% of all profits. And then you did have Paul Grewal. He chimed in, "My memory is a little better than most to trust future rogue regulators to faithfully apply the law." You also had Patrick Witt chime in from the White House crypto advisor Patrick Witt, pushing back on the brutal warning about crypto's future after Coinbase argued that they need to lock in clear rules now and stop future regulators from destroying the industry. Trump admin advisor Patrick Witt says, "Go ahead, block the bill. If the bill fails, all of crypto's biggest questions, stablecoin yield, DeFi rules, developer liability, SEC and CFTC control, get decided later by whoever is in power." Coinbase is saying, "Don't pass a bad bill." White House side is saying, "Don't risk no bill at all. This is just now or versus never moment for crypto regulation." And, you know, why is this now or never? There's only a few months left in the actual year that senators can vote to get the bill done. I think there's only about 2.5 more months, even though there's about 6.5 or 7 more months until midterms. They're only there to vote on legislation for a few more months. And if it doesn't get done now, it might never get done because Republicans are worried that they could lose the House or the Senate here in the midterms because of some recent issues with what's going on with inflation in the Middle East and all of these other things that people are upset about. Clarity Act proposal text will be released next week. So we are going to actually see what's in this text. Remember, it was released last week. And so the insiders got to see it, like Coinbase, some other select crypto partners got to see it, associations, and then the banks got to see it. But we don't know what they're actually fighting about here. We haven't yet seen the text. And so once that drops this week, I will be making content to go over that with you so you are completely caught up. The new reporting says a staffer from Tom Tillis's office told Eleanor that the Clarity Act proposal text is now expected to be released next week. This comes after Coinbase and other crypto stakeholders were reportedly unsatisfied with the bill. Coinbase team is now working on a counter proposal. So they're actually working on their own proposal here to explain why targeted changes are needed to protect consumers and preserve sustained rewards. It does feel like Coinbase is trying to protect their business here. It doesn't really feel that they're there to protect us, but they are, like, we don't have a seat at the table here. Retail doesn't have anyone there to make sure that, you know, all of these shenanigans are not being done for personal interest for these companies or the banks. And so we don't have representation. That's the problem. And so here's that tweet that we've gone over a few different times, kind of showing you what is expected ahead. And then we should get some more information tomorrow. And then you did have senators and all kinds of people coming out, like Senator Loomis says, don't believe the FUD. We have worked on a bipartisan basis for the last few weeks to make changes to Title III that makes this bill the strongest protection for DeFi and developers ever enacted. We have to pass the Clarity Act to get the protections. All right, now let me show you this clip here. The
Democrats winning the House is that the Clarity Act won't get passed. However, if the SEC just came out yesterday and noted what's a security and what's not, and basically the only thing that's a security is things that are really securities and they're just tokenized now, then actually this could be bullish for markets. And if you look historically, markets operate the best under a split Congress, because if you have a Democrat president, Democrat House, Democrat Senate, well, then the markets don't know what's going to happen because there can be change. However, when one party controls the House, one controls the Senate, nothing's going to change. And that's what you call certainty, and markets love certainty.
And so what he's looking at on the screen here is this: which party will win the House in 2026? Right now, Democrats have an 85% chance of winning the House. And this is why Republicans are saying if it doesn't happen now, it won't happen till 2030, because that's when they believe that they will regain either the House or the Senate and have control again to push whatever bills they want through. And so it is really a now or never, because it is kind of heading this way. Polymark has been very accurate at depicting these things, right? Who is going to win the White House? He called Trump would win before any other news agency could. And so I do believe, unless something drastic happens, you're going to see in November the Democrats take back the House, and that'll leave Republicans on the out. All right, there you go. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Aloha.
So big shout out to Crypto Sensei, and he is right? It's going to take some time. We'll have to wait it out and see, but I do think the legislation will be slowed down, right? These guys are pushing, everybody's pushing, everybody wants it done now, but it ain't going to happen now. So, I was in a meeting, and the meeting went over longer, so that's kind of why we ran so long with the videos. But tokenization and the maybe this is bigger than price angle. Let's discuss tokenization, because this is one of the most underrated parts of the whole XRP conversation. Ripple announced in February that Avanis investors are working with Ripple with intentions of tokenizing traditional fund structures on the XRP ledger. Ripple described it as the first collaboration with a European-based investment management business. That is exactly what kind of headline the average crypto trader scroll past, because it doesn't come from the laser eyes of rocket emojis. But the type of move matters, because if tokenized funds, tokenized real world assets, and institutional DeFi workflows are where finance is going, then the relevant question is, can XRPL earn credibility place in the future? Ripple's own institutional DeFi update says XRPL is moving towards native privacy, permission markets, and institutional lending, with XRP used in the key workflows and network level operations. Again, I'm not telling you every tokenized asset on Earth is moving to XRPL. I'm saying the thesis is more concrete than people pretend. And in the market, it's only pricing XRP like a tired altcoin while the infrastructure case keeps broadening. That is exactly why some investors think the story may not be over. Crypto Twitter wants instant millionaire candles. Meanwhile, finance is over here tokenizing boring assets worth more than everybody's portfolio combined. So the bear case, what would still go wrong? Uh Now let's be fair, because every good live stream needs uncomfortable parts. Why would XRP still disappoint? Number one, Price kids stay disconnected from fundamentals for a long time. Number two, Ripple's building products doesn't always mean XRP holders get immediate updates. Number three, a lot of institutional story is still about access, experimentation, and infrastructure readiness, not guaranteed giant inflows. Number four, if broader crypto stays weak, XRP can get dragged down with everything else. And number five, the market may simply decide utility narratives are nice, but wants explosive demand, not just strategic positioning. That's the bear case. So, no, today's takeaway is not XRP to the moon because I read three press releases. That would be lazy content. The smarter takeaway is XRP has still unanswered upside potential because build out around it has not stopped, even through price action has cooled. That is a more stronger and more honest argument. So basically, they're saying they're still building, guys. What I've been saying constantly. We're not going to really get a good price on XRP until it's all built out and people see it working and it goes crazy. But as of now, it is still back and forth and still coming down the pipeline. So it's going to be a lot more uncertainty, some FUD, and slow movement, right? Until it gets crazy, until people start buying it up, which they are secretly. But that's also what they're not telling you. People are buying it up, but they're telling you they're not, right? So you can't kind of trust a whole lot what's going on. So here's my final take. If XRP guaranteed to explode? No. Is the chart under pressure? Yes. But is XRP done? I don't think so. That case is an easy to make anymore. I don't think that case is easy to make anymore because the setup around XRP keeps getting more serious. More regulated access, more institutional style products, more Ripple licensing, more payment expansion, more custody and tokenization messages, more efficient, uh, more evidence that the digital asset infrastructure is maturing. And when that happens, the price stays sleepy. You at least have to ask, what if the market is late? And we know the market's late, right? Because with everything else going on, these guys still think Ripple's going to go away, and it's not. It's pretty much integrated in all of crypto at this point. And that's the whole point of today's stream. Not blind hype, not fake certainty, just a real question. Has the market fully priced what XRP could become if this infrastructure story keeps building? That's what I want to hear from you. Drop in the comments, is XRP still loading, or is it just another hope cycle? If you enjoyed this stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and share with someone who only watches XRP when the candles is green. What is this new mom? What's going on? XRP just right. XRP's early. XRP's not even early yet because people don't even understand what's going on. Right? People are going to be way behind the curve on XRP. And when it starts running, they're going to panic and be like, oh man, I should have got in earlier. And we've been telling the whole time, get in. We're like, no, it's not going to work. And it is going to work. So I guess it's time to bring the plane on in. XRP chart right now looks like it needs coffee, prayer, and a better macro environment. Some people only believe in adoption if it's their cousin bought $40 worth on Cash App. Huh? Institutions don't move with memes. They move with filing, lawyers, and people saying framework too much. XRP haters are like, nothing's happening. XRP's maxis act like everything is happening tomorrow. The truth is usually in the middle. And last, Wall Street doesn't FOMO like retailers. It tiptoes in wearing them Gucci loafers. And you know how they do, bro. They're going to keep buying it on the sly, keep buying a little bit, so it doesn't raise any red flags. And as they convince the institutional buyers to sell it, they're going to keep buying and keep funding it. I think that's what this whole thing is going on, man. They're trying to get you guys out of the market because they telling you it's not worth staying in for, and in return they are buying it up. So when it does run up, right, they're going to make a fortune because you sold cheap and they bought. You sold low and they're going to hold it and sell it high, right? They're just trying to FUD you guys out. So don't listen to the FUD. What is this? Trust me, they don't know what they are holding, my brother. Yes, definitely. Was that Andre Charity? They don't have a clue. They don't even understand what's going on. Most of the people don't even understand crypto. So for you to say that they don't understand is an understatement, guys. Most of these guys wouldn't know a gold bar if it fell out of the sky and hit them in the face, right? They're like, oh, what is this? This must be a meteor. This must be some crap. Let me throw it in the trash can, right? And then somebody comes out the trash can and grabs it like, oh my God, I found this in the trash can. What is this worth? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and cash that out, please and thank you. A lot of people have no idea what they're researching, what they're holding on. People probably not even researching it. Like I was saying in another stream, nobody even reads any of this stuff. I put out information all the time. I'm giving you jewels. I'm playing jewels. I got stuff on the BTM Crypto News Network, and people ask me questions that are clearly on the freaking X page. I'm like, bro, I posted that like 2 weeks ago. Why are you asking me a question from something I already posted? But it's okay, man. We got to calm down and be patient. And just be thankful you guys are in now when it was cheap. Like, I wish I would have bought a whole lot more at 17 cents. I wish I would have went crazy at 17 cents. Also, too, I did get scammed on that stupid deposit here. And they'll give you back 2 times what you deposit, which now knows a scam. But back then I thought it was a super come up. But even then, it was only like 20 cents a share. So, I mean, it wasn't even a lot of money lost, but it was still something that would have been nice to have now, actually. And I don't know, but I don't want to hold you guys too long. I was in a meeting and my meeting ran over. So that's why this stream took so long, because it was only supposed to be an hour, maybe hour and 30 minutes. Now we're at the 2 hour and 8 minute mark. But thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. New mom, it happens. That's what I tell you. Be careful. Get your stuff off the exchange, put it on cold storage wallet, and hold it. And don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, the 2-for-1, or any other weird, crazy scams that are out here. Do not send anyone your crypto with hopes of making crypto, right? Just hold it. Just hold it and wait. If I was more patient, I'd probably be a multimillionaire by now, right? I sold my Ethereum too early. I lost a Bitcoin somewhere. I don't even know where it is. I got scammed on this. And it was a YouTube thing, which was weird to me because YouTube kind of didn't claim anything. They kind of disappeared when people went after them. It was a commercial on YouTube. So I figured YouTube would do a better job at screening commercials when they screen my freaking videos all the time. It seems like they could see a bad commercial or something that's AI generated versus these guys are swearing or worrying me about copyrights on songs that are being made from the community, right? Seems like they would be able to find scams versus worrying me about music that people people made. So I don't know, but I don't want to rant and rave today. Plus, I got to get ready for this next video, and I'm behind, so I'm just trying to catch up. But thanks for joining. I can't believe how cheap I'm getting XRP for $1. They're right. If we go down even further, bro, I might liquidate most of my crypto and just hold on to XRP. It might not come tomorrow, might not come today, might not come next month. But at some point, people are going to realize what XRP does and it's going to take off. Just like Apple, just like Microsoft, just like Oracle, all the big boys, right? In the beginning, nobody believed it, nobody trusted it, and now look at them. But it just takes time. Even Bitcoin was severely undervalued. So I figure at some point, Bitcoin's going to come down. XRP and Tau and maybe Ethereum and maybe Solana are going to run like crazy. But Bitcoin will still be high, but it's not going to be what people think it will be. But all these other companies, projects as well, are going to move up. Hey, it just means you have experience in helping rookies learn. Rookies like me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I tell people. I already been through it, bro. Ain't nothing you can tell me about crypto. There's nothing you can tell me about crypto scams. Well, especially the scam side. There's nothing you can tell me about projects. There's nothing you can tell me about price action. I've already seen it. We've been in crypto since before 2017. Some people just jumped in and like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire. Like I told these guys on that Casper, right? They're like, we're going to be millionaires. We're going to moon. We're buying Lambos. I was like, it don't work that way, bro. And plus with Casper, there's a lot of inner fighting going on, and there's a lot of hype, right? It's going to take some time. Like, no, man, Casper's going to replace Bitcoin. We're going to go to $5 by the summer. I was like, that's definitely not going to happen. So these guys are like, you sound like a normie. You sound like you're just getting into crypto. Like, bro, I tried to tell you. I tried to warn you guys. And you guys thought I was crazy. So whatever. Like I said on my X all the time, man, I'm just here to help you guys, right? The money is only money, right? It's going to come. It's going to go. It's going to go up. People are going to get rich. They're going to blow it on dumb things. They're going to be back to square one, wondering where the money went, right? And some people are going to sell too early and not even make money. But a lot of people are going to lose because they hold on too long. When the price goes up, they're going to think it's going to keep going up. They're going to wait and they're going to lose out, just like we did on freaking Dogecoin. That's another thing, right? I know about crypto, bro. I've been in it for a long time making money, right? I ain't made multi-million-dollar money, but I've made pretty decent. So I'm definitely fluent at making money in crypto. But all I can tell you is you got to be patient. But I got to cut this video off so I can get started on the next one. But thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit your main man up with a super chat. I'm just trying to keep the lights on the freaking BTM Crypto News Network. But either way it goes, thanks for joining. And as always, let's get back to the money, guys, and stay dangerous. Miner out.